tightness. They've stumbled all the way down to that 7th spot in the East, 6-12 since sitting in 2nd in the East just over a month ago when Kyrie came back. Nick, can you say at this point maybe it was a mistake to bring Kyrie back?
Oh, I sure can, because I've been saying it all along. Once upon a time, Broussard agreed with me on this. Then Broussard had temporary insanity, and he's like, no, it's a good move to have him be a part-time player. Now I think maybe he's going to come around to my side of things. So the Nets were 21-8 the day they announced that they were forfeiting any opportunity they had to be taken seriously as a serious NBA franchise, and they announced, no, Kyrie Irving can play part-time. Since then, they are 8-16. Now, he did not play those first 6 games, so as Jenna mentioned, if we just go since he started playing, they're 6-12. Not coincidentally, since then, the Nets, who it's like, hey, Brooklyn's not terrible at defense. They're not good, but they're not terrible. No, now they're terrible once again. And I understand, but Kevin Durant has also been hurt some of this time. Yes, it's true. But the whole idea of having other superstars is, if a guy actually is a superstar, when one of your guys goes down, the other guy can carry you. But of course, Kyrie has never carried any team by himself at any point of his entire basketball life since, I guess, high school. High school, he carried those teams. But since then, nope. You've got to be with someone better, more reliable, more dependable, and then Kyrie can really be his spectacular self as the best Robin, one of the best Robins in NBA history, as long as the Batman is one of the 12 greatest players in NBA history. But, that's not the case, and the Nets are a total disaster, and Harden's upset, and KD's not there, and Kyrie is blaming media plants for James Harden evidently scoring 4 points against the Kings and then mysteriously having a hamstring injury. Yes, I know it is either the Illuminati or the media industrial complex or the phases of the moon that are why your team stinks ever since you came back. It's not because you won't get the vaccine and play every day. But it's good for them, Brew. Sure, it's going to work out. Next 7 games, Kyrie's available for 2 of them. So I'm sure he'll give his full value, weight in gold, in those 2 games, and the Nets don't regret this at all. Of course it was a mistake.
I'm not there yet, Nick. Look, they didn't look great.
Get you there?
They looked better. They looked better when Kyrie wasn't there, but they didn't look great. Did they look like they were going to win a championship? No. So they tried.
No, but they never were.
They tried this, all right? And look, what I'll give you is this. It looks like it's put a damper on James Harden's play. There's no doubt about that. And I think Harden, you know this, they sat down with Harden and KD before they brought Kyrie back, and those 2 were in agreement. And I think Harden thought eventually Kyrie's going to go ahead and get vaccinated. He seemed very optimistic, very excited when Kyrie first came back. And then once he realized he's actually not getting vaccinated, and now it's going to be this part-time in and out thing, I think that put a damper on Harden. So there is that. But, Nick, you can't discount the injuries, okay? And we got this graphic. Durant's missed a few games. No, he's missed 12. Aldridge and Claxton have missed 9 apiece, and Harden's missed 15, and Joe Harris has missed all of those games. So there are other factors beyond Kyrie Irving being on the court. Injuries are playing a big role in this. Here's the last thing I'll say, Wilds. And Nick, it is not, if I'm the Nets, here's what I do. I watch this now over the next, I don't trade Harden before the deadline. I watch this over the next few weeks. And if Harden doesn't perk up, or they continue to struggle and have these issues, I have another sit-down. I know there's sit-downs galore with the Nets. But I have another sit-down with Harden and Durant. And I talked to Harden like, look, are you bothered by the Kyrie situation, him in and out? And try to get to the heart of the matter. And if Harden is bothered by it and KD's on board, then I send Kyrie away again. Really?
Okay.
I mean, and I know it seems crazy, but if Harden remains despondent because of Kyrie, then I would have no problem. Kyrie is not bending over backwards to help the Nets, so I'm not going to bend over backwards to help him. If he's hurting our team in a few weeks, then I would put him back on the shelf if I'm the Nets.
Okay, so Broussard, just to push back, you have this sit down, right? And Harden says, like, you know what? It is affecting the flow. It's affecting team chemistry. I would say to James Harden, like, I get it, James. At the same time, you couldn't play with Russ. You couldn't play with Chris Paul. You didn't want to play with John Wall. And now you can't play with Kyrie. Are you sure it's not a you thing, buddy? Are you sure maybe that you could try your best to play with other, like, star players? Don't you think you have a little bit of culpability here and not being able to fit in?
Well, that's fair, because we have seen this before with Harden. So he does have to man up, I'll use that term, and play his best regardless of how he feels about Kyrie. But if they have a better shot with Harden, then because Harden might be in their future. Who knows what the future holds with Kyrie? They didn't offer him a contract extension yet. Who knows when the mandate will be lifted and he can actually play home games. So it's a tough situation, and while I don't discount what you said, because that is real. But right now, Nick, to answer the question, I don't think it was a mistake to bring him back yet. It may prove to be, but the injuries are a huge factor that you're overlooking.
Oh, but no, hold on. I'm not overlooking the injuries. Can we show the injuries graphic again if we stay? I'm not overlooking the injuries. Players. But, okay, of course they are. But hold on. If one of my friends is thrice divorced, and every time it's because he cheated on his wife, and then he's like, man, I have great marriages. You're just focusing on the cheating. It's like, okay, so Katie and Kyrie have been on the Nets for 3 years. The first year, what happened? Well, Katie was unavailable all year because of injury, and Kyrie suffered a shoulder injury and was unavailable. Okay, that's one. The second year, what happened? Well, Katie missed time with injury, Kyrie missed time with injury, Harden missed time with injury, and then Harden and Kyrie got hurt in the postseason. Okay, that's second time. Third time's a charm? Maybe, hopefully. Nope. KD's out with injury, Kyrie's out with his own stuff, and Harden is out with injury. So, yeah, I'm not, and I don't really, Joe Harris, by the way, might not be coming back at all. They're like, hey, we're gonna give another 2 weeks and see if he needs more surgery. So now, in Joe Harris, positive for Joe Harris, if he doesn't play in this postseason, I think it'll raise his postseason career three-point percentage, so that's good. But, guys, this is an injured team. You keep saying, oh, they're 13-3 when they all play together. We're at the All-Star break of their second year playing together. AD, LeBron, and Russ have played more games together than KD, Kyrie, and Harden. Think about that. They've been together 1 year, and LeBron and AD have also been hurt this season. Like, I'm not discounting injury. You are talking about injury like, well, if it didn't, aside from the snow, Syracuse, New York would be a top 5 city in America. Great, but it ain't never gonna not snow Nick, there, buddy.
Like, Nick, what you're saying is the biggest problem is the injuries. And I agree, not Kyrie. Kyrie's a problem too, but the biggest problem is
they're all problems.
That's what you're saying.
We're all
they're a mess. Yeah, it's not just Kyrie, though.
No wheels and a bad engine. Both sides.